Hi, I'm Lauren Sonnenberg, and although I'll begin this video by presenting the very serious challenges we face as a country right now, I hope that by the end of the video, you'll feel empowered and inspired by the knowledge that there are pathways to both increasing your wealth and income security, and for improving the overall strength and economic well-being of your community and our country. It doesn't take a PhD to figure out that we're facing serious financial problems in America right now. The value of the dollar is dropping as it continues to inflate, and the cost of everything has gone up markedly. Beyond that, over the last number of decades, globalization has damaged the ability of the average American to be able to feed and clothe themselves locally without shipments that first had to travel a long way, either nationally or internationally. Same goes for virtually every product we depend on, not just food and clothing. And you know what that does? It makes us highly dependent on things out of our control. So if the proverbial poo ever hits the fan, guess what we're out of? Food, clothing, gasoline, medication, and the endless list goes on. In total, that leaves us out of luck and highly dependent upon those who may not have our best interests at heart. And desperate people will take a handout from people and entities they wouldn't normally want to interact with if it comes to having food, water, and shelter for their families. So what can the average person do to counteract the status quo? Well, first off, for your family's well-being, it would help to add no less than 4 or 5 figures per month to your income. That way, even as prices go up, you can sustain your ability to purchase what you need and even potentially have enough left over to help your neighbors. And when you can bring that level of income security to your family, that makes you what I have deemed a wealth hero. And once your family is feeling very secure and taken care of, then you start to have extra funds available that you could invest along with other like-minded people in your community. For example, let's say the people in your community agreed it was wise, in order to gain food stability, to have an animal and vegetable farm for every 500 people. Well, even though it could be a very profitable venture, that's still going to take some funding to get started. Doing that, however, means you've then put in place a way to provide ongoing sustenance for your family and many other local families, even if shipments of food from afar stop coming. Now, that's wealth heroism on a community level. Now, let's take it to a level with positive national and international consequences. As an example, let's say the people wanted to fund a new airline or a non-woke manufacturing company. Well, that takes a lot of capital, the kind that most people don't have available. But what happens when people decide to become wealth heroes, to make the world a better place for their fellow countrymen and for humanity at large? Well, we don't all need to be billionaires to make big things happen. Here's what I mean. Let's say that, on average, each wealth hero has 4, 5, or 6 figures more of earnings coming in every month, and they have extra funds to change the world with. How would that empower wealth heroes to make the world a better place? Well, let's look at some numbers. Let's say we started with 3,000 good men and women who want to make the world a much better place for their children and grandchildren. And let's say that within 6 months, we're able to help each of those wealth heroes to make an additional $15,000 per month. And for the next set of numbers, let's aim low for the sake of believability. Let's say each person wants to invest 1/3 of their new funds into a business or a project that makes the world a better place. And so we're talking about $5,000 per month times 3,000 people. That's $15 million per month. And let's say that 3,000 more people get on the bandwagon every month and invest the same. So in 18 months from now, we're talking about having $180 million per month, or over $2 billion per year, for big projects. And that's based roughly off of the investments of only 36,000 wealth heroes. And just imagine the power of multiplying that even by 2. I'm not here to tell you what you should do with your money or when you should do it. but I am here to help make big things possible and to create a network of like-minded wealth heroes so we can enjoy much greater abundance in our lifetimes and to make the world a much better place for our children and grandchildren. I'm here to paint the big picture and to inspire and empower you to think big. I'm here to help you create the funds needed to improve our world in the fastest and easiest ways doable. So between now and the end of June 2023, to jumpstart the Wealth Hero movement, I'm looking for 3,000 good men and women who would like to join me on the journey of becoming wealth heroes for your family, your community, your country, and for humanity at large. And here's what that will look like. The first step is getting a lot more funds flowing to you and your family every month. And I've created a wealth-making approach by reinventing and gamifying an old-school income opportunity that I'm going to venture to say is a good fit for at least 90% of wealth hero-minded people. And I'm going to invite you to scope out the opportunity by clicking the button or link on your screen. Now, for the 10% that check out the opportunity and decide it's not a good fit for you for any reason, have no worries, I'm not going to leave you in the dust. I've just begun my search to find other similarly minded businesses so that I can guide you to other opportunities if my number one opportunity isn't the best fit for you. And when I find those, I'd be happy to connect you with them if that's of interest to you. For now, let's focus on my number one opportunity as an extremely solid business opportunity where I've taken an old school approach to building a passive income. And I reinvented and gamified it to make it most likely the easiest way you'll ever earn 5 figures or more per month without trading your time for money. I didn't turn it into a game for the sake of fun, because these are indeed serious times we live in. But I gamified it so that it would be competitive and so that it would have the time boundaries necessary to make financial growth happen for participants as quickly as humanly possible. So if you'd like to be one of our first 3,000 wealth heroes and to improve life for your family and eventually for your community, country, and the world, then click the button or link below to learn more.